The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series made its way to Martinsville Speedway last weekend for the STP 500. Joey Logano started from the pole, but Kyle Busch was the dominant racer, leading 352 out of 500 laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran into trouble from an early spin after contact with David Reagan, but still managed to secure a 14th place finish. Daytona 500 winner Denny Hamlin had some trouble when he took a turn too fast and wound up in a 39th place finish. Kyle Busch won his first race at Martinsville, his first of the season, and 35th of his career. But it was what happened after the race that made headlines when Kyle Busch stopped a fan wearing his apparel after the race. Welcome back to Sideburns of Doom Gaming for the Duck Commander 500 from Texas Motor Speedway. Today's featured driver is going to be last week's winner, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch won the championship last year through a rather remarkable set of circumstances. During the Xfinity Series race at Daytona, the first of the year last year, he broke one leg and another foot in a violent crash and was sidelined for I believe it was 11 races. After having missed 11 races, NASCAR gave him a condition by which he could get into the chase. Instead of just a plain old win and you're in, they said he had to place in the top 30 in points before the chase to be able to qualify for the chase. With 4 wins before the chase, he actually did it. So we have finished 1.5 laps out of our 33 today. It looks like Martin Truex Jr. is in the lead. I'm actually trying something a little different today. I'm commentating on the original gameplay video instead of the pre-rendered picture-in-picture video. We are at lap 3 and Kyle Busch is trying to get ahead of Chase Elliott. It looks like the drivers are hitting about 196 miles an hour here at Texas before they have to brake for the turn. Martin Truex Jr. maintains his lead. And we are 3 wide with Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick. Biffle falls behind. And Kyle Busch's next target is his predecessor as champion, Kevin Harvick. And it looks like he's going to make that pass. Next up, he's got Ryan Newman and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he does it. Looks like he's going to get around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Next up is teammate Matt Kenseth. Oh, no. Still Dale Earnhardt Jr. And it looks like Denny Hamlin has the fastest lap of the race so far. 5 laps down. And we've got 3 teammates right in a row. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and Matt Kenseth. All we're missing here is Carl Edwards for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Martin Truex Jr. maintains his lead. One thing I'm not quite sure about in this game is Kyle Busch's marker on the mini display for the track is a yellow marker, yet both of his paint schemes available for this game are green. One for Interstate Batteries, the other for Crispy M&Ms. This year, now that Crispy M&Ms are no longer a new returning item, he is back to a traditional M&M's paint scheme. Oddly enough, he's also sponsored by Skittles. He won the Brickyard 400 last year with his Skittles paint scheme, and instead of kissing the bricks as per tradition, he actually ate Skittles off of it. And Kyle Busch hits the wall. But it looks like that's not going to deter him from his chase on teammate Denny Hamlin. And the 3 lead cars have jumped way ahead of the pack. And Kyle Busch, it looks like he's running on fumes right now. Some cars have started to pit. Over on the other side of the track. I'm going to go ahead and confess, this is actually the second take that I made of running this race. I was not very satisfied with running out of fuel at the end of the race the first time. Sometimes in some races I can coast across the finish line, not in this one. This one I tried to coast to the finish line and ended up stalled right between turns 3 and 4. And someone is spinning out on pit road. It's Michael Annette in the 46. You can see some scrapes where Kyle Busch scraped up against that wall. And Kyle Busch is now a lap down. And it looks like Jimmie Johnson is currently in the lead as we get through our green flag pit stops. Jimmie Johnson pulls into the pits. And coming around the turn, Kyle Busch is going to regain his lap. He's going to pass everybody in the pits, and now he's got his lap back. He needs to make it around one more time to get back to the front of the pack, while everybody else is pitting. And it looks like, is he going to do it? Looks like Kyle Busch takes the lead after green flag pit stops. Not only is he taking the lead, he is taking a massive lead over second place. Over second place driver Jimmie Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. following him. $20 laps to go this time around. And it looks like he's going to lap the previously driven number 25 car of Chase Elliott. As we all know, Chase Elliott now drives the 24 car, Jeff Gordon's legendary car. So he has the advantage of one of the best cars and best crews in all of NASCAR. Looks like further in the pack, Martin Truex Jr. has taken second place. This time, Kyle Busch is going to get around the number 98 of Cole Witt. Much slow, very lapped. Wow. And I wonder if this is still a realistic thing of camera flashes going off in the audience, just throughout the grandstands. I haven't actually paid that much attention to the grandstands lately during night races. This will be the first night race of the year, so I will be sure to keep an eye out for that. But that is why this video starts with a seizure warning. This might be a good moment to promote the Movie Health Community blog, which I run on Tumblr. Every time I see a new movie, I get on that blog and I tell people about the flashing lights and potential for motion sickness during the movie. For example, with the recently released Batman vs. Superman, I gave it a very high rating for its flashing lights, which is bad. In that rating, I warned people that there are severe flashing lights throughout several parts of the movie, and there is high potential for sensations like car sickness or what you would feel on a roller coaster. I have now evaluated 99 movies on that blog. So if you want to visit it, if you want to see the Movie Health Community blog, please visit moviehealthcommunity.tumblr.com. Remember, Tumblr is spelled Tumblr. It looks like Kyle Busch is going to pit again this time around. And when he comes out, there will be 13 laps to go. It looks like he's going to take a wedge adjustment. And try and repair a little bit of the damage to his car. This could run a little longer than most other pit stops. But that is where his track position will work to his advantage. And just like before, Kyle Busch is one lap down, but he will regain it once everyone else pits. Martin Truex Jr. has the lead. And Kyle Busch has regained his speed as the field starts pitting. He's still a lap behind, but he gets his lap back from Kevin Harvick, who appeared to be in 5th place there. Ten to go this time around. And it looks like Denny Hamlin currently has the lead. Denny Hamlin has not yet pitted. It looks like Denny Hamlin's going to pull into the pits, and Kyle Busch is going to get the lap back from his teammate. Kyle Busch has returned to the lead lap. And he gets into some of the cars trying to pull down into the pits. These AI are not very smart when it comes to the ways they pull into the pits. They will cut off the player and brake check them really hard. Eight laps to go this time around. With Kyle Busch back in the lead, I am getting glitches in my video. So how well this is going to sync up, I'm sure I don't know. Hopefully I'll find a way to work around these glitches. Seven to go this time around. and my screen is frozen. We'll be right back. And we're back. It looks like I may have fixed it. My frame rate is horrible where I'm looking at it right now, but at least my video and audio are back in sync. I guess that's what I get for rendering this at a very high quality. Or for recording it at a high quality. Kyle Busch is going to lap Paul Menard here. With 6 to go. And Kyle Busch is going to pull back into the pits. I guess he is really worried about his fuel, and rightly so. So he's just going to take a splash of fuel, and it looks like he's going to take right side tires as well. Martin Truex Jr. retakes the lead, and it looks like Kyle Busch is just gambling on the leaders having to do the same. I guess Kyle Busch figured if he's going to take as long as he will anyway with getting his fuel filled, he might as well take new tires on his right side while he's at it. And he just right there, we saw Kyle Busch get lapped by leader Martin Truex Jr. And as he tries to regain his momentum, he is currently in 29th place. 1 lap down. And he gets into the back of Greg Biffle. There's Michael Annett, who is even further back in the field, possibly 2 or 3 laps down. That's who spun earlier in the pits. And he pushes Annett into the wall. Two laps to go. And it looks like the leaders have no intention of pitting at this moment. Looks like they're going to risk it with the fuel. There went Ryan Newman into the pits. The white flag is out and Martin Truex Jr. has the lead. And Busch is going to get around some of the other cars just exiting the pits. Will the leaders pit? Jimmie Johnson has taken the lead. Martin Truex Jr. is going to pit. Jimmie Johnson is going to win at Texas. And Kyle Busch is going to finish 20th, 1 lap down, due to a failed fuel gamble. Well, thank you for watching Sideburns of Doom Gaming. And be sure to join us next week for the Food City 500 at Bristol. Your top 10 today at the Duck Commander 500 are Jimmie Johnson in first, followed by Carl Edwards in second, Chase Elliott in third, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Kevin Harvick rounding out the top 10. Don't forget to get your free Bloomin' Onion if Kevin Harvick scores a top 10 the day after the race.